Okay, and welcome to Marty's Electro Rails. Right, okay, I have a little story to tell before I start on this. This is a Hornby model, as you can see, Duchess of Montrose. It's basically been sitting on the shelf for a long time. Pardon me. I made this video, started to make this video the other day, and found that there was a lot of issues with this actual model itself, and so I thought I'd do a little video on it. Take this out, do a little video on it. So I started to do the video, and somebody hadn't double checked that it was recording. So after about an hour in, I realised that I had fixed some of the problems but not recorded it. So I put it all back together, and I will kind of let you know what some of the problems were on this. This still needs a good clean up, so I'll be doing that today. There's a lot of kind of ooze and fluff and things like that. I'm not quite sure how it got kind of so messed up, because it's been sitting in the box for a long time. But what originally was the problem, now on the tender part, there's no motor in that, there's just pickups. On this part, the motor is in here. The motor wasn't connecting properly to the actual wheels. I initially thought it was a kind of piston arms that were the problem. There was an issue, if I can kind of zoom in a wee bit here, and there's an issue with this point here. As you can see, it's still loose, but it was sitting out as well. So it's just obviously taken the dunt at some point, and there was quite a few little bits and bobs to actually fix on it. As I said, the motor inside wasn't engaging onto the cogs and down onto the wheels. So now I have actually fixed that, but when I take it apart, I will show you what initially was wrong with that. So let's take this apart then. Where is the screwdrivers? This one and little Phillips. Yeah, for that. So I'll take this off the front here. It's a mixture of flat-headed and Phillips, which is great. So I need something to put these little bits in. I need a tub of some sort, just so I don't lose the bits. Aha! Always good to keep things like Pringles lids and things like that. You can just use as little tubs and things to keep the screws at bay while you're working on something. Take this bit off. Now there are some cables soldered to the back, so there's two connectors. Yet again, I will show you this zoomed, well, it's zoomed in just now. This is, there's little cables actually connected onto there, coming run down through the motor. One of them has come loose. It's a terrible solder job that I've done several years ago, so I will try and amend that as well. So at the moment, let's zoom back out again, because that might help. So I've taken that off, and then there is a screw at the back here, which that comes out, and then that releases. There's two little pins at the front. That releases two little pins at the front, and the actual housing comes out. just to let you know, this is, as I said, it's a Hornby model. It is the Duchess of Montrose weathered. It also is fitted with a DCC chip, which I have not got. The Royal Railway set up for DCC. So that chip is absolutely redundant. Some of the models I've got have actually taken the DCC chip out. Just obviously for in the future if I ever decide to do that. So what I need to show you is obviously that is the motor there, and we have this little engine mount. Now on this little engine mount here, we have it was slightly ajar, so there was cogs in there that were spinning around and not touching. The motor was just basically every now and then it would engage and then it would just disengage. So that I had to just take that whole mechanism apart, which is relatively easy. You have to take the DCC chip off, be careful of the solder, basically the actual wires coming from it, and then there's a little screw in the middle there which lifts that whole engine mount up, releasing the actual motor itself. Saying that there are little kind of fittings inside for the motor itself to fit on the back there, and you won't be able to see it on that one there. So the little capacitor has dislodged itself, so I can resolder that. I'll switch the soldering iron on, and we also have to solder this little connector as well. Cool. So I'm now going to have to do this. Being a left-handed person, soldering with the right hand is kind of tricky. Gonna choke that down a wee bit. We'll just double check for continuity in a second once we get this. Right, that's a nice little neat solder, a lot better than the other one. Should I attempt, I'll say that I've just looked at it again, it's not super duper, but it will do. And we're going to have that sit on the back there, and get this actual mount for it. Oh, now what I've got to remember, yeah, that sits like so. Right, okay, so quick tighten on that, and now going to check the continuity on that. Now there are, I believe, pickups on these wheels here as well. They're right on the insides. On here. So I'm going to have to, this is the bit that I don't really want to take apart. This is where I find out that I should have left this bit off and done that last. Of course I'm going to have to remove that now again. Now I don't really want to mess with this mechanism. How does this work? Oh, this is a nightmare. All of a sudden I'm regretting this. So if we look at that's the little metal strips. How do they get Wonder how they get the continuity to them. They've got a little line up pin here. And I think, yet again, that's where I try and find a small torch. Right, so there is a solder point there. There's not much play on that at all. I think this was a bodge. Bodge. Put some paper in there to insulate it from, because there's a solder point. As you can just see all the dust and crap that's coming off this. Okay, I don't know what to go further with that, because that means taking these wheels off. I need to re-insulate that and figure out how these work, because they go onto there, but yet there's no contacts for them. And this one is onto here. Is there any paint on that? There's paint on the outside. Right. Okay, we'll clean these up. Yeah, so I put a wee bit of paper on that just to insulate. Maybe I didn't, I'm not sure. Right underneath that stud, there's a cable that's soldered onto that. But I'm failing to see how the other side gets continuity, unless it's actually in the wheels. Maybe just stick, there's a little stud there. Maybe that's how, I think that's maybe how that's connected. And there's an underside. Let's have a wee look and see. I'll do a little continuity test. Figure this out before we go any further. Right, we have continuity on that. So that little stud, as I said, I thought was a line-up stud. I think it helps the continuity. So we need to get these back into place, these guys back into place. Now this is a task and a half. I'm going to sit in there like that. That's going in here like so. These have to sit in. Whew. This is not nice. Maybe what I should do, you know, I'm actually going to clean them maybe with the motor on, if I can. As long as that's touching that. So I need to clean the underside. Both of them are identical. I've cleaned the ends of these. All my cleaning solution is evaporating. So that one goes in that side. I'll give that little contact. Clean up. We need to insulate that solder. This is very tricky. So insulate that. If I can pick this rotten bit of paper up. It would make it a lot easier if I just had taken the engine mount off. I think originally it was sticky, now it is not. I need to make it sure it's not over these screw holes. Okay, what I would do for just now is I will put one of the screws in just to hold this in place, or maybe not. Talk about a pain in the butt. She's a pain in the butt. This goes around the other side. And this is the one thing I'm concerned about, is this contact. This contact here. So if that sits in there, easier said than done. These contacts are kind of well hidden away, but they are a bit of a pain to get on and off. Right, so we need to take this little screw out, line up screw it. And the fun part, put this back in and screw it on tight. Put this bit back together again for, I don't know how many times I've done this. Oh no, I don't know how many times I've done it, but I keep forgetting that it's the long bolt with the spring. Make sure they're nice and tight so that it's making contact. And I'm going to do a quick resolder on the capacitor. Back to grainy cam. Pliers. Where are my other pliers? Go. Diddly 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 done. Right, there's apply some power to this. Easiest way to check. First, just do continuity. Make sure we've got all the gearing back in place, working. So that's, yeah, once we just check checking there's continuity between these wheels. That's good. Right, so there's a wee bit of resistance, but not. It's not a direct shot from that. So one of these right, so that is the little pins at the bottom, and that side doesn't work. Oh, come on. Oh, but there is. So let's see. Right, so that works. So why are these not a flare? They're connected. It's just maybe a wee bit of too much resistance between them. Yeah. It kind of checks out alright. Off the scale. Like that. They're both the same. Right, this thing to do is run it, but continuity's there. As long as they're not shorting out. So, the next thing is to bring up the test track. Move the soldering iron cable out away. Because I keep zooming in and out, I've got to kind of think about it every now and then. It's just another thing to think about, like hitting the record button. Okay. Continuity's not great. Anyway. So we're good for that. We're good for that. Whoop, whoop. It's a little bit of a run in there for that anyway. But it's running nice and sweet. So didn't need to put any silicone grease on that as well. It just needs the wheels cleaned and the contacts cleaned underneath. So while I've got it in this state, I will try and be clever here and attach this power to one of the top ones gently, and if I can, try not shut this out. Try and get one. Try and get an area. Keep them apart. Put the power on. Watch the traction. It's not going to work this way. So I need to just set this up a wee bit further. I could set that up on maybe wedge the motor in there. Yep. Right, and this is where we clean it. I really want to strain the motor. I've also got to watch that I don't go over wanted voltage. It's sitting at 8 volts. I'll do this. I'll get back to you. Okie dokie. Right, as you can see, there was a lot of stuff that came out of those wheels. There's a lot of dirt that came out on the outer side of the wheels. So that is the result of cleaning those wheels. Now what we can do, incidentally I said that I already had kind of lubricated this, and what I have got is just this basically silicone, I need to have a look, where is it? Yeah, silicone, just silicone grease. And also, I'm trying to find, yeah, I got this years ago, so that's just a kind of lighter spray, contact spray. So I don't kind of want to be, I want to be minimal with putting silicone grease on this, because if it gets everywhere and gets on the wheels, so you're trying to normally use, I'll normally use like a cocktail stick or something just to put grease in there, and it just obviously keeps everything running as sweet as possible. Okie dokie, I'll get this thing back together, and maybe what I'll do is I'll double check that it runs first before I do anything. Double check everything's working. And if I actually buy some proper power. Yep, we're good. Okie dokie, that is that half done. And we now move on to the tender. Put this to the side. The tender has got lots of fluff in it. Right, I'm guessing I'm going to take these two off. If I can get this round the right way. Screw it underneath there, or yes, it's a clip of course, so you can change the connector. I should have known that. Right, so before doing anything else, let's get all the screws together so I don't lose them, and we'll clean these up. There's lots of oofs and stuff. So if I zoom in slightly, this pin should connect to one of these. So that one there on the, and this plate should connect to that one. Wonderful. So I'll just, and there's no short between the two of them. So the next part would be to clean these contacts. Let's see if I can clean the contacts without I don't know, but the contacts are just sticking out there and there, and this one needs kind of bent out. These are exactly the same as that, well, almost exactly the same as the other ones. So I'll just bend that one out a wee bit. And we'll give these a clean up. I can find a clean cotton bud. Oh, where's this ooze coming from? I think I'm going to have to open the top of this. I could take the contacts out, but they'll be soldered. I don't want to. I mean, I can clean them like this. Jeez, look at all that. Yuck. Oh no. All the cotton buds are spilled out. Cotton bud disaster. Right. Now, that's not bad, and the big weight on that. Don't normally get that. I'm saying tenders normally can be quite lightweight, but that's nice having this weight on it. Really simple. Couple of wires going to the two contacts. Very, very simple. The side of these aren't too bad, but I bet you the outside are absolutely filthy. This goes in like so. Sure the wheels are running freely. Yep. And got some non-tapered Phillips screws to go in. That screw is right there. And we should, oh, you know what, I never did. That's how I get rid of all this rubbish. I never cleaned this guy here. And contacts here. And it does look as though it's, that's just, I thought it was dirt, but it's actually just a wee scrape mark on it. Right, so on this part, okie dokie. That should be us done. Right. We have continuity between the two. It's just that connection at the top. That's cool. And now we go to test it on the test track. May put okay. Bring it back into short and zoom out. I'll plug plug these into the end. Lovely. Whoop. Yay! It's moving quite sweetly. That's totally ruined that. I might need to run it in a wee bit. Oh, do you hear a squeak? Where's the squeak coming from? Right, well, I think all up and running now. I think I'll give it a little run in and then we'll try it on the track. Okay, as you saw, that was the model running. It runs pretty well. I also cleaned up the outer shell, and it was covered in dust and all sorts, even though the actual model is weathered itself. This, just to go over, this was a Hornby product, or it is a Hornby product. It's a Duchess of Montrose, the weathered edition with a DCC chip in it. I do have the model number, which is on Hornby, it's R2446, that is the actual model. So yeah, if you have made it this long into the video, thank you very much for watching. And I hope you could actually pick up some bits and bobs from this, if just general kind of maintenance. Possibly some of the things I do you shouldn't really do, but and hopefully some of the things that I do you should do, if that makes any sense. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I am Marty, and this is Marty's Electro Rails. Thank you.